In a typical piano lesson situation, when someone starts the piano, they don't get to play the black keys for a really long time. And that's because reading black keys are much more difficult than reading the white keys. Because most piano methods are based on reading, you start with middle C and then you go from there, and it takes quite a long time to start playing on the black keys. But black keys is like the magical thing that happened on the keyboard. So I like to teach my students by having them play on the black keys right away. And I have my own method of doing that before students can learn how to read yet. So today I'm going to talk about the black keys, the names of the black keys, and what you can do to start playing some songs on the black keys and make some beautiful music. Hi, I'm Kristina Lee. I have been teaching piano for some time, and one of my passions is to help beginners start piano. And that's because I've heard throughout my life how people have had really bad experience with getting frustrated with piano and feeling discouraged, and really so many people feeling like they couldn't be successful. And I believe that everyone can play the piano beautifully in their own ways. And one of my missions is to help them. And one of my ways is by using the black keys. When you look at the black keys, we have less of the black keys than the white keys. And they're in the groups of 2s and 3s. They repeat. So basically, this black key's name is same as this black key's name, because this is higher than this, but they are the same note name. And these 5 notes make up something called a pentatonic scale. Now you can start pentatonic scale from any key, because a scale is just collection of certain number of notes that repeat certain patterns. So you might have heard of like major scale or minor scale, and they use certain pattern, and that's what makes it a certain sound. But you can start high or low as long as you follow that same pattern. And pentatonic scale follows certain patterns of steps, and that's why it has a certain sound. But the miracle on the piano is that our black keys happens to be the pentatonic scale. It sounds nice, right? And I know you know the word pentatonic because of the group Pentatonics, I think made up of 5 people who sing a cappella music. The names of the black keys depend on the names of the white keys. They are alterations of the white keys. For example, the white key names are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then back to C. I just made a video last week about white key names, so if you are unsure, please check out that video after you watch this. So when we move on the white keys like this, we call this moving up by steps. When you move like this, you're moving down by steps. Now, there are 2 kinds of steps. There are whole steps and half steps. Half step is when you move to the key right next to each other. When we go from here to here, that's not a half step because we actually have this black key in between. So when we go from here to here, that's half step and half step. We're moving up by half steps. And now we're moving down by half steps. And by the way, this is also called chromatic scale, when you move up like this in half steps. And the word chromatic only exists in music and colors. That's really interesting, isn't it? Anyways, let's go back to naming the black keys. So this note, this white key, which is D, D as in dog, when we make this note go a half step higher, is this note. And we call this D sharp. Sharp looks like a hashtag. So sharp is going higher, okay? Now when we make the D go down a half step down, it's this note, and that note name is D flat. Flat looks like a lowercase b as in boy. So this is D flat, but also we can call this note by an alteration of this note, because that's like half step above, half step higher than this note, which is C. So that black key is also C sharp. So the black keys can be called with its sharp names or flat names. You're like, why do we have these two different names? There's musical, like theoretical reason for it. It's not gonna make sense to you right now. I just want you to understand that it can be called with either the sharp names or flat names. So there's one thing I want you to understand before we go forward. This is just for your knowledge. You don't really need it right now. Between E and F, we don't have a black key. So between E and F is a half step, and therefore F can be also called E sharp. Do we use that? Yes, we do use it sometimes. You don't need it right now, but I want you to understand that. Also, this E, which is half step below F, can also be called F flat. Same thing here between B and C. That's half step apart. So C can be also called B sharp, and B can be also called C flat. Just know that. Don't try to memorize it. Just understand the concept of half steps, and even the white keys sometimes can be named with sharp name or flat name. Now let's go back to our wonderful black keys, which magically makes the pentatonic scale. Okay? And you might want to do that. Pentatonic scale is used in many different cultures. So we get these songs, folk songs and spirituals, pop songs and rock songs that are made up of using just the pentatonic scale. One example is Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, which is a spiritual. So I'm just going to play that using the black keys. Another song. It's a famous hymn called Amazing Grace. It goes like this. I will just play the beginning of it. Another folk song, Auld Syne. This song is sang on New Year's Eve, right? So one thing you can do is just to try to find these songs using the black keys. And that's a really great ear training exercise. There's some modern songs that uses only the pentatonic scale too. My Girl by the Temptations. You can even just try to do that. Put your fingers on the black keys and play that. How fun is that? And try to find the song the melody on the black keys. Michael, talking about Michael. So try that. I would just do a Google search and get the list of songs that uses just the pentatonic scale, and whatever you're drawn to, try to find it on the black keys and just get used to moving around, and that would be a really wonderful way to do your ear training. Another thing you can do is just to improvise on the black keys. A simple way to start that is just putting your hands like this and experiment with the sounds. And move up and down. See, this is a real hard thing to do when you're reading music, because when you're reading music, it's just really is not easy to read piano music with so many notes. But if you're just listening and exploring the sounds, you can go up and down as much as you want, right? This is a really good exercise. You use the left hand, a low note like a drone, and then try to move your right hand around on different keys to make it something more like a melody. And patterns, you can make patterns. So I hope this gives you some ideas on how you can use the black keys and pentatonic scale to just familiarize yourself with the keyboard and know the names, and also just do some ear training and moving around, coordinating and moving your fingers. It's really good for you. And if you want something more structured, go ahead and check out my course. I composed 5 pieces just using the black keys so that my students can start playing something really satisfying and beautiful right away, and work on their rhythm and coordination and ear training without having to read music. Of course, I talk about reading music too, but I added that in my course because I want people to be playing something right away, not 3 years down the road. So good luck, and I'll see you again.